There's been a great deal of talk this week about anti-Semitism on the college campus, the scene of the three university presidents of top universities, Harvard, MIT, University of Pennsylvania, which, by the way, is also an Ivy League school, and appearing before Congress and being asked a simple question by Representative Stefanik. And I think that episode is going to have a kind of long impact. It's going to leave a big wake, because it was kind of a moment where academia itself was on trial. Here you have in front of you three of the most eminent figures in academia. We kind of assume that they're going to be similar to the leaders of academia in the past, and academia has produced a number of prominent intellectual, but also social leaders. And I think we saw, looking at these three women in this case, that they are, well, T.S. Eliot used the phrase hollow men. Well, these weren't hollow men, but they were hollow women. Hollow here in the sense of lacking a moral core. Absolutely degraded, shameless people. And what made them even more shameless was that when they were asked important questions with morally freighted questions, they sort of looked sarcastic, they smirked, they were like, yeah, this was kind of, I think in their minds, this is staple right-wing rhetoric. And that's the kind of disdain, that's the kind of contempt with which they dealt with it. But in fact, what they didn't realize with all their talking points in front of them was that the question that Elise Stefanik posed was well thought out and loaded. It was a sort of a loaded intellectual weapon. And it was a question which had a very clear answer. And the clear answer was yes. But the failure to give that clear answer and the attempts to provide a sort of elaborate rationale and get out of having to provide a clear answer were incredibly revealing, a kind of a window into the soul of academia. And so I thought I would give a little bit of detailed analysis of what's going on here and try to spell out its significance. So the question was really very simple, and that is, do explicit calls for genocide against the Jewish community violate your university's guidelines or rules against harassment and hateful speech or conduct? Is there an academic violation here? Can the university and will the university act against people who call for genocide of the Jews? Will they be called to account? Will they be disciplined? Will they be suspended? Will they be expelled? And all the three college presidents or university presidents gave the same answer. And that is, in effect, no. They didn't want to say no. So typically what they would say is, in the typical evasive fashion, something like, well, Representative Stefanik, let me emphasize that under our free speech guidelines, blah, blah, blah. And you could tell that Elise Stefanik, who, by the way, is a fairly genial personality, she's not like a ruthless cross-examiner, she was a little stunned by what she was hearing. In one case, for example, you had one of the university presidents literally say that the calls for genocide would amount to harassment if they were accompanied by conduct. And Elise Stefanik was conduct. I mean, are you saying that someone has to commit the genocide in order to be charged with, you violated the Penn policy on harassment? She could hardly believe it. So she would regroup and in a sense, almost robotically ask the question again and sometimes again. So this is a case, it's not where these university presidents sort of were taken by surprise, or they started out by misspeaking and then quickly were able to clarify their answers. No, they in every case sort of dug in, and the collective answer can be summarized in this way. What they basically said is, if there is speech accompanied by conduct, in other words, the genocide is not only called for but done, then there is a violation. Or two, there has to be concentrated, systematic, and directed harassment of Jews on the campus, and then there might be, or there would be, a violation. And all you have to do is, whenever you hear a justification of this sort, you apply the moral generalization that was, I think, in its first systematic way articulated by Immanuel Kant, and that is, apply this answer to other cases and see if it is a morally coherent answer. So generalize, if you will, the answer and see if the generalization holds up. If the generalization doesn't hold up, then your answer has a problem. During times of economic uncertainty and political upheaval, it's crucial to have a reliable source of financial guidance and insight. That's where Dr. Kirk Elliott, PhD, and his esteemed wealth management advisory firm come into play. Dr. Elliott has distinguished himself with 2 PhDs in economics and theology. He's built a reputation in expert financial solutions tailored to your unique needs. His firm specializes in wealth management, offering a comprehensive array of services to protect and grow your assets in an ever-changing world. In an environment filled with volatility, shifting landscapes, finding a trusted partner during these challenges is essential. Dr. Elliott's firm employs cutting-edge strategies and an understanding of the markets to guide you toward financial success. So go to kirkelliottphd.com. That's 2 L's, 2 T's. kirkelliottphd.com/Dinesh. Book an appointment. They will walk you through their investment process. That's kirkelliottphd.com/Dinesh. Or you can call or text. Here's the number, 720-605-3900. Again, 720-605-3900.